Hello lovelies, it's time for Sarah's annual back to school YouTube hop, and the theme for 2021 is stepping up, which could be interpreted in any number of ways. And so I'm actually going to take it quite literally, because Max's back to school after our longest stretch of lockdown and remote learning last year, he returned to school wearing his Vans because he'd outgrown his school shoes, and the story is sort of about that. And yeah, so I'm going to use this photo because I always do a obligatory back to school posing photo. Normally I only do one at the beginning of the year, but sort of this was late October and the lighting's kind of terrible because it was sort of early in the morning. You know, we leave home about 7:30 and his trousers are not ironed, but you know, it is what it is. So, back to school essentials included a mask, haircut done by yours truly because hairdressers were not open. And the reason that we didn't buy him new school shoes is that during hard lockdown then, and we're currently in we're in our 6th lockdown at the moment. Yeah, I know, right? So anyway, you can't go to places like department stores, shoe stores. You can do online ordering and click and collect. I had to get Andrew to pick up some sewing machine needles for me because craft stores are not open for in-person shopping. And we didn't really want to buy him a new pair of Clarks online. We preferred to get him fitted because it kind of defeats the purpose of spending money on Clarks. So we said he could wear his Vans until the shoe stores opened up again, and he was more than happy with that. In fact, he said he was going to wear them for as long as it took for them to notice and give him a uniform infringement, and over a year later still wearing them. So yeah, I probably will end up using this photo because this one has a bit of I've just noticed some damage here because there's a dint in the back. This Fitz was extra violent. Oh man, it's got a gouge taken out of it. Fitz was extra violent when he was playing with the selfie yesterday. He nearly lost the end of his tail when it started to go in, you know, into the rollers. It didn't stop him from wanting to have another round with it today. Yeah, I think this one's going to go. So I thought the way I would start is use this. I don't know why I thought about a wood grain first. I wanted something kind of neutralish. It's just an old, is it sweater weather. It's got all these wintry words. I thought at one point I would use this for his ski camp layout, but I think this wood grain is just the right kind of wood grain. Maybe some of these fit your boot and pencils for the bottom, and then I'll just see where it takes me from there. I've got some random papers. Well, some of them are random. These ones are from one of those some Photoplay Rona collections. Yeah, there's 2 that they released. This one's not actually so bad because besides the masks, they've got all these cleaning and sanitizing things, which the school sent us this great big 25-page back to school document about the new rules that they had implemented, and you know, going in one way, going out the other way, lockers were no longer to be allowed to be in use and all that kind of stuff. And they had all these hand sanitizing stations and all different bits like that. Then there's whole bunch of from the current Simple Stories back to school line. So I don't know what, if any, I'm going to use, but there's a lot of bright colours. This shoe one from Dear Lizzie I definitely wanted to use for obvious reasons, and I've used this Amy Tangerine one from Sunshine and Good Times because of that punchy purple, and this one has a bit of purple. There's a different sort of purple in the background and the shoes because purple, black and turquoise are his school colours. And yeah, some more from that school line, I think, some neutrals. So we'll just see how it plays out. Raining strips are off, so I think I'm going to orient this paper so that the grain goes horizontally because the photo's going vertically, and I'll do the same with the pencils, and I think that'll make more sense anyway. So now I just got to pick out which side. Maybe this one. So I think I'm going to run with a third and do 4 inches, and I can always chop that down if I don't like it, but I think that will work just fine. So there's a slightly larger gap up here, and I'm going to put that this way So if I'm going to do that like this, I've got room to put some kind of strip of something, and it gives me a little bit of overlap. So ink or no ink? I think I'll ink, and I'll use black since that's going to be one of the predominantly occurring colours in school layouts. Grey is also one, even though it's not officially one of the school colours. But the boys' uniform has grey pants and some are grey shorts. And it's a neutral that goes with everything. Oh, and these foam thingies are shredding bad. I'm going to try getting some of those domed ones. Apparently they don't shred quite as much. And I'll probably do it this way up. Yeah, because I've got that nice change in tone there, and I almost put this the wrong way. It's been one of those days. I have to say, this collection of Vicky Bouton's is probably my most favourite of hers to date. I absolutely love all the things about it. It's got some great purples as well, which are very good for his school layouts. So I'm going to trim that down, leave some white borders, and then maybe figure out what I'm going to do with some of those, a messy paper stack behind it. Now, should we put him here or here? Maybe this way, because he's sort of, well, he's standing on the left side of the garage door anyway, so it kind of makes more sense to me to have him here. I've chopped this down with a fairly even sort of a border, and I've put a potential order of papers. What I really like is that this one kind of bridges the gap between the Simple Stories collection and this one. And in fact the Vicky Bouton paper does the same thing. It's sort of got those middle of the road oranges that bridge the gap between the peach and this really bright orange. I might do something a little bit different in that I'm going to, rather than use really small sort of borders, try to make some larger borders, but sort of different, you know, some more horizontal and some more vertical. And if I hate it, no big deal, there's lots of paper here, I can just start over. So I think I'm going to chuck it on fast forward and see where it takes me. So I'm not going to stick this down to the page just yet. What I do want to do is put the journaling on a strip of some kind of journaling-y type paper somewhere like this. It means I might be able to put some embellishment next to it, maybe some up here and then some down this area. Title, I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put it, but there is a little bit of flexibility. So I think what I might do is put the journaling down on a box, and that way I'll know how much room I have to work with. Oh, actually no, before I do that, I was rummaging around and I found this scrap. This shows how long it's been since I cleaned to that level. It's from earlier this year, from one of my layouts, from a ripped one. think maybe this would do alright as that strip there, so I'm just going to run with it. I'm probably not going to ink that sort of roughed up edge. That'll do. And having this down will give me an idea of how high I want this. Sort of, do I want it touching? Do I want it... Yeah, see, I don't... If I have it up high enough like this, that's going to give me some weird little... Maybe I need to move this down so that I don't get the this little trapped space there. Okay, well in that case I might as well stick this down. I can always pull it up again, no problems. So when I saw this big die cut titley thing, I decided I was going to use it straight away, because these are the sort of bits that are a bit of a struggle since they're so big, so I might as well make it a title. I want to use some smaller stickers for a subheading, but now that I've had a look at it, it definitely, I thought I could put something like post-lockdown school life, something like that, because that's really what the journaling is going to be about, but I don't really like it up there. Okay. So far I'm thinking that this might be the best option, to have it like this. I'll get these bits down and then figure out the rest. My first thought was to put this up on foam, but maybe I won't do that because it's kind of bold enough anyway that it's got plenty of attention drawn to it. So I'm just going to kind of this somehow like that. I know where this is going to be sitting, just right on the edge of this bit, so I think I'm going to get those other stickers down and then, yeah, figure out the embellies. Titles down, journaling's down. I've dumped out the 2 different packets of that Simple Stories die cuts from the school collection, sort of picked out some from a short list. There's a few from that Photoplay Rona collection. These are the ones that I cut out of that pattern paper. There's some chipboard here, although I think I've already pulled out what I need, and some stickers from the Simple Stories one. That's from one of their girl collections and from a couple of other random sticker things. And I'll try and use some flare badges because September over in Sarah's Facebook group, Rediscover Your Stash, it is the product focus of the month for September is flare. So I'll set back that. I'm thinking something here, but whether to put it like this to be side on or not. Maybe I'll do it like that, or if I use that entire corner I could probably, yeah. So okay, let's say here, here, and maybe over here. So I might start by cutting the frame of this because I don't need that brown frame. if I put that here, I mean, it will very likely be moved around. Now there's a few of these shoes. Oh, I want somewhere to put the date. Oops, I'll just stick that there. We don't have exercise books that look like this, but it doesn't matter. It's a good contrast for that little spot. Oh, okay, here's one of these shoes in blue. So these are what kind of closest to what his Vans look like, but I definitely wanted to include these because that's, I think, modelled after those iconic slip-on Vans. There is this big sort of sticker. This might be a really good spot for it actually. I've put sort of some embellies around. Are they going to stay there? I don't know. But I think I'm going to chuck it on fast forward now, do the inking and the sticking down and make their decisions and see where it goes from there. Last little bits to put on. I pulled this off because I think I'm going to move it, but I'm not really sure where. I'll stick that down first. So this one doesn't have any phrases. I think it needs to be popped up, but okay, I'm gonna have to, I think that top right cluster needs a little bit more still. I mean, it probably doesn't, but I quite like that up there, but this area seems to be a little bit naked. I don't know. Yeah, that might be enough. Now, to adhere the flare badges, my go-to are these permanent glue dots. You only need one, or maybe two. Some of them have self-adhesive pop dots, but because they're so old, and these are October afternoon ones that have got some of that rust stuff happening, which for this particular layout I don't mind. It's not the sort of style that I would want on just any layout, but I'm okay with that on this one. Now if I could just not drop it, that would be excellent. Now I can figure out where this guy's going to go. Actually, I might chuck it on top. And if I angle it a little bit this way, I just wanted to make sure there wouldn't be any kind of a gap. That'll do it. Date. Oh, this guy. But, you know. And this is exactly what I like. A plain back with no foam, no rusting, nothing. This one's really apt because he told me that morning, because he didn't quite, he never likes having his photo taken, and he said something like, "Don't think I'm smiling behind my mask because I'm still frowning." That is, yeah, very Max. Now this little row of hearts, do I add them there or here, or just not anywhere? I kind of like them there. I totally forgot about these puffy things. I very nearly fell head first off my step to pick these up off the floor when I was turning the camera on, so considering that I risked my life for them, I think I definitely need to put some of them on. I'll use one of these little globes because that's one of the few places I use them in school layouts, because I don't travel so much, even before Rona. Yeah, that'll do it. I definitely am leaning towards this grey. Unfortunately, it's only 3. That's okay. A grey, maybe an orange, and something else. I could do a purple, but one of these, because of course there's only 2. Oh, there's 3 stars. Okay. Yeah, because there's enough black. So I'm going to call this done. Because of all the crazy riot of colour, it turned out quite a bit busier than I imagined, and now for me that's saying something. So please be sure to watch all the other girls. There'll be a full lineup of everyone who is making a layout for Sarah's September school hop down there in the description box. So if you haven't started with Sarah and worked your way down, please do so. Or if you've got lost along the way, you can get back on track there. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I will put some still photos and a slightly longer still of the journaling, because I really don't think I'm going to get a blog post done. So if you want to read that, just hit pause. So yeah, thanks again, and hope to see you back soon. Bye!